All right, y'all. So, how does a person end up in administrative segregation in a maximum security penitentiary in the state of Texas? Well, one, you could do something really bad. You know what I'm saying? Like the last use of force that I was on, there was an inmate that was coming up they were getting chained in. That means they were coming in on a van to our unit in the middle of the night because he had taken out the eyes of like an 18-year-old correctional officer. And, that's a whole story in itself. So they moved him he got put right into Seg from South Texas all the way up into North Texas where I was working. So do something very bad, you can end up in seg. If you're like a flight risk, if you trying to escape and shit like that, they'll seg your ass for things like that. And then you can be part of a security threat group. And a security threat group is kind of another name for a gang, but it's different, right? See, Bloods and Crips, and there's a very big Mexican gang in the state of Texas called Tongo Blast. They're not considered like threat groups, right? They're gangs, and but they're not organized and structured like the Mexican Mafia is, or the Aryan Brotherhood, or Aryan Circle, or a gang that has actual leaders and bylaws and codes, and they conduct and live their life a certain kind of way. These are the guys that really call shots from inside the penitentiary to outside the penitentiary. And let me tell you, you can get on. You can see this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can hear people get on here and brag about what they do and what they're doing, this, that, and other thing about the joint. But the fact of the matter is, most of the time, they'll tell you anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could tell you anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you the truth because I got no dog in the race. But if I was an inmate and I had access to a cell phone, well, that right there, you are kind of making moves because they're so expensive in the joint in Texas. But everybody wants to be a shot caller. Everybody wants to be a leader. Everybody wants to be part of a real gang. And one of the worst things you could do is say, well, I'm part of like quote unquote the Mexican Mafia, and not be, because they'll greenlight your ass behind stuff like that. I think I'm not in the Mexican Mafia. I'm not in a gang or no shit like that. I'm an ex-correctional officer, but if you say you're something, you better be something, because somebody's doing some homework and some paperwork on that and checking into where you're from and what you're about. And I got this cool little story about this kid that was fresh into the joint, a youngster. We were looking out for him, but he was actually part of this group called the Tri-City Bombers in South Texas, and they were using him kind of as a crash test dummy, which is tragic. But anyway, nevertheless, so you're part of a security threat group. You've escaped the penitentiaries before. Have you done something really bad? That's usually how you end up in a maximum security penitentiary in 12 building ad seg. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get there.